Welcome to Campus Deep Dive. I am your host, Santel McCoy, and I bring you a new guest who will now introduce themselves.
Kayla Mady.
Mady, okay, Kayla made it. All right, nice to meet you. So on this show, actually, you're one of the first guests that actually knows nothing about the show. So we're gonna play with that idea a little bit. So there's a very scary question that sometimes gets people, but I want to start off with asking you, how was your day?
It was good. It was good. Just classes, same old, same old.
Okay. Any troubles today?
Not today.
Not today? Yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah. Work related.
Oh, work related. Okay. Yeah, we can keep that on the wraps. So, tell us what you do. What is your main claim to fame on FSU campus right now?
I am the news editor for The Voice. One of two for the news column specifically.
Okay. So besides that, is there anything else that you like to do or that you do on the side that people don't know about?
I just do a lot of freelance writing. That's it.
Freelance writing? So like what categories would you say?
I like to focus more on like music reviews and stuff.
Music? Okay.
I'm trying to break into, that whole field or whatever.
Right. Okay. So like, speaking of music, so what's your like top 5 in that region since you like writing about it?
Genre-wise? The most exciting shows are obviously going to be hip-hop. Then under that, I listen to music in different languages, so I'm going to have to say that my second is going to be K-pop music.
K-pop?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then third, rock. Rock is really fun. It is, but those mosh pits are no joke.
Yeah. Definitely.
Fourth, I like classical music.
Classical, yeah.
Yeah,
you can't
watching
go.
those live. I don't know. Music tells a story, even if it doesn't have words. So, and then fifth, anything else that's left over.
That's crazy. You just throwing everything else under the bus.
Yeah.
There gotta be something that you like. What's your fifth one? Come on now. You got something in there.
Fifth one? Okay,
like
R&B.
R&B. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel that. Definitely. So, with all that being said, so freelance writing, you are the Voices editor. One of 2, right?
One. Well, there's multiple, but like for my column, yeah, one of
For
2.
your column, okay. It's very interesting. So, outside of that, what are you classification-wise?
As in?
As a student here.
As a student here, like talking about like my major and stuff?
No. So like, what do you consider like a freshman, junior, senior?
Oh, so I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's what's up. All right, so outside of The Voice, when did you start it?
I started this semester. Technically, I got onboarded first semester, but I wasn't here for first semester. So.
Okay, yeah. So outside of, being in The Voice, how has your experience been so far on this campus? And be real.
Oh.
Any way you feel.
So, I'll start with the positives. So I'm actually a transfer. So I came from PWI, and there I didn't find any sort of community. The people weren't nice, and my teachers didn't seem like they wanted to teach us, nor did they want to help us. So I'll say that when I came here, the big difference was like people wanted to talk to me. My professors, all the professors that I've had, they've seen like they genuinely enjoy teaching us and showing us stuff. And I've been able to find community within people, like people that look like me, I guess. So that's the positives. If we're talking about the negatives, I can list out the parking situations, the dorm situations. I'm a commuter, so I'm not here, but I thought about it. But that was until I heard that like there was an influx of students and they were reforming a hotel.
Yeah.
And I've actually heard a lot about the people who have to stay at the hotel and the issue with Wi-Fi there, even though they're students.
Right.
And I think that's it for right now. That's all that comes to mind.
Okay. That's pretty good. That's pretty good to start off with. So yeah. So listing your top three, rounded it off to top three negatives. What would you say?
Top three negatives.
It could be what you just said, but just you list them off if you have three or two.
Okay, so the top one I'm gonna say is, oh, you know what? I did forget. The whole ticket situation, like the campus police and stuff. They're like hopping straight to booting people.
Yeah.
Thank God I have not been booted yet, but in my COM 205, a good portion of kids have already been booted.
They have their parking permits and stuff?
Yeah, but with the lack of parking because of all of the closures that keep happening, people don't know where to park, so they park wherever they find free. But I think jumping to booting is a bit extreme.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's a good.
So that's my top one.
That's a good one.
The second one will probably be like availability to resources, because I feel like the campus has resources, but I don't think they do very well with promoting with certain things. Like I don't know, for example, like study abroad. I don't hear much about it. Like I'll get an email here and there, but they don't really talk about it much. So I'll use that as an example. But
okay, yeah, definitely. I understand that.
So that's my second one. And then my third one, I don't have a third one yet.
Yeah, it could have been the off-campus Wi-Fi trouble.
The dorm situation. Yeah.
So that's a good three. So now that we talked about FSU, obviously on Campus Deep Dive, we like to get a little deeper than just the surface, which is where we are, FSU.
Yeah.
And when we talk about Kayla.
Okay.
So, what type of person would you consider yourself as?
Open-minded.
Open-minded? In what facet would you say that?
It depends on the person that I'm with, obviously. We all have different ways that we lead our lives, so last thing I want to do is jump to judge anyone. I don't go based off of things that I've heard or like stereotypes that that everybody has in this universe. I just do more of meeting the person and figuring it out myself.
Okay. Yeah. So, are you the type of person to be more content with being by yourself, or is that just something that has happened at the school?
So how do I explain this? I have an interesting way that I explain myself. I'm very social. I'm an extrovert, but I have an introverted battery per se. Like, yeah. So my social skills only last so long. But if put in the situation, I'm definitely social, can talk to anyone, I don't have an issue with it.
So you feel like it runs out at some point?
Yeah. I feel like by choice, sure, I do like to be in my own world, but I don't mind being with everyone, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You can be around people for a certain period of time until that battery started draining. I feel that, yeah, I'm definitely the same way. So, yeah, based off of that, would you said at the PWI you couldn't really find a community. So at FSU, have you found that community, and what does that consist of to you?
So by community, I don't necessarily mean a group. It doesn't mean that I'm specifically searching for a Latin org or a POC org at a PWI. It's more of just the fact that, like, so on this campus specifically, you could talk to people, you can try and start conversations, but you didn't feel like it was reciprocated back. Like, they didn't really want to talk to you. At that school, I did notice that, like, cliques were a thing. So if they came there with their friends, they're not going to talk to you. You're not going to join their circle. It was very hard to meet people. And I did meet people, but, like, relationships, like just friendships or in general, frizzled out. They stopped responding or things like that. And it was really just the fact that I wanted to meet new people and I wanted to talk to people, but it just didn't really feel like very welcoming. Like, I didn't feel like I was gonna find people to talk to or like a circle to join. And
Right.
So here it's different. People approach me and talk to me, start random conversations. And it's funny because that's something that I was looking for on that campus. I didn't find it. And now that it happens here, it's kind of like weird to me, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, and definitely, I want to say, you know, one of the biggest things that I find like in common with people is anime. So, yeah, you smile hard.
I watch anime.
Yeah, you smile hard at that. So, you know, to branch off that question, I just want to ask, what is your top 3 in that category of anime? You know,
Anime? Okay.
in general.
I got you. So my number 1 is Tokyo Ghoul. My number 2 has got to be Demon Slayer. Listen, I know you're like, in comparison, how is that the second one? But I don't know, Tokyo Ghoul was just different. And then number 3, I'll say Attack on Titans.
Okay. Interesting list. That's crazy. You put Demon Slayer under Tokyo Ghoul, but I can see that. You know, I didn't really get into Demon Slayer as much as everybody else, but
it's the difference in the messages. Because with Demon Slayer, it's an entire fictional world. Obviously, all anime is, but you know, in that instance, like the demons that he's slaying, it's like actual demons. It's in that world. It's not fictional. But with Tokyo Ghoul, it was more the fact that it kind of just highlighted the difference in people, I guess, and the ignorance to change.
Ooh, that's okay. Okay, you get me now. Okay, go ahead.
So I like to pay attention to the hidden messages in a lot of things. And with Demon Slayer, there's a lot of messages that he learns, obviously, while slaying demons.
Yeah.
But
okay.
In Tokyo Ghoul, since it was a more modern aspect, I kind of liked to see it. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, there's just a bunch of little messages that I kind of found in that show. So that's my number 1.
Yeah, well, I definitely guarantee you that with what you just said, you probably gonna find a whole new introduction of people or influx of people that agree with exactly what you said. So, yeah. So, you obviously hit on one of the main topics I wanted to touch on too. So, with anime, you know, it's more of a surface level topic if you let it be, but there's definitely more influential impacts that anime has. Like Dragon Ball Z taught me the power of the strength coming from within type thing, you know?
Right.
So with that being said, what is your most meaningful anime to you? Like what anime did you watch that had the best message and taught you the most things?
Okay, so for me, it wasn't a series, it was a movie. Have you ever watched A Silent Voice?
Oh my goodness, we have tropes going on the show now. This is the second time we heard that. Oh my goodness, yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that one, I think it was a very good message because of the main character's turnout, where he went from being a bully to growing up, and he learned sign language, and he tried to kind of make up with the girl. Lots of stuff happened in between.
Yeah, like she almost jumped off the balcony.
Well, see, but like, see the little message, just a little the subliminal messages.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I do agree with that, actually. That's a good point.
And you got to watch the process from him being a kid and having a certain behavior to growing out of it, and seeing that he came to realize that some of the people that he grew up with never changed. So he was helping himself, but also realizing that other people also need help. Other people also have their own issues, and that's why they stay the way that they do.
Right, yeah. Okay, yeah. You explained this very well. I will say that. Yeah, definitely. That's a good point. I remember watching Silent Voice, and I was like, Yeah, I'm into that. That's more of the alley that I'm into, like animes with a message, or like anything with a message, really.
Anything with a message, yeah.
So, with that being said, back over to you, and this is all branching together. So, you have a certain taste for certain things, especially with messages, from what I'm hearing. So, what is your daily routine as far as making sure that you're still there mentally look like?
So, like, how I keep up with myself mentally? Honestly, I would be lying if I said that I'm like 100% all the time.
I don't think I'm gonna be honest. I don't think anybody is.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is. With me, it's just more the fact that sometimes you have to remind yourself, and like, this is me speaking. I guess I have to remind myself everything that I'm grateful for. And, remind myself of the opportunities that I have that I know that other people wish that they had.
That's a good point.
So it helps me, especially because I'm a very driven person. So those little reminders just kind of help me out when it comes to wanting to give up, and like when I feel mentally burned out, I always just have to remind myself and give myself that energy that I'm losing while I'm doing everything that I do. So, I guess daily that's just kind of what I do. It's just whenever I start feeling any type of way, I just give myself a little reminder of why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it for sure. And just to reinforce that thought, it's good that you think that way. So keep up with that for sure. Yeah, it's a healthy habit. It's better than a lot of some of these other habits.
Yeah, so. It doesn't always. I'll say it doesn't always work, but I think it's like that with any coping mechanism. Like not everything that we do is gonna work every time, but at least we know we have something that we can try when we start feeling any type of way.
There's something to fall back into.
Yep.
And for sure, that's very smart. So, what would be your advice to some people out there struggling with keeping up with their mental? And before you answer that, was there ever a point before this glam and glossy person we have here today that you would say was kind of your lowest point, and if you could like put a marker or a date on that, what time period would that be?
So I'm gonna say that time period definitely started spring of last year.
Dang, why is everybody so recent? Jeez, okay, go ahead.
Now, I mean, there's always been points, but I think like that was my worst. So spring of last year, all the way up until December of this year. So I was not here first semester. I was enrolled in classes, and I did show up for a little bit, but it just didn't last long because I had some stuff going on. And when I sat down to actually like evaluate what was going on, I realized that I went the last 4 years without letting myself cope or grieve with some of the stuff that happened. within the last 4 years. So it all just kind of hit me all at once. And then while I was trying to pick myself up, something else happened. So I was in a really low point. And sometimes when you get there, it's really hard to pull yourself out. So I'm not gonna give myself all the credit. I did have people along the way remind me of the person that I am, everything that I wanna do with my life. And so I had someone at least to just remind me of what I couldn't see at the time. For me personally, I think the best thing to remember when it comes to mental health is that there is a way out. It doesn't feel like it sometimes. And if you don't have the right people around you, you're not gonna have people to remind you of the good parts. And that's just something that I did have to learn, was the people around you also do affect your mental health. And having someone that knows you well enough to realize that you're in that space and that there is an issue, having someone that when you're in that space and you're falling back into old habits, they can help you get away from that, is very important. So for me, I'm gonna say that the biggest thing is having people there that you know will help you and want to help you, instead of feed into those bad habits that you have.
Right.
That's probably my biggest advice. But then the other thing would just those affirmations, self-affirmations, and those little reminders that you have to remember to give yourself really helps. Because at the end of the day, it's even with those people that you have, it's got to be from you.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. That's beautiful advice right there. And definitely making sure that with that support system, whether or not you have it, the main factor of it is whether or not you decide to intake that advice.
Yeah.
Because people could give you advice, they could tell you, oh yeah, you're better than this.
And you're not always going to take it.
Right.
Yeah.
So it depends on you. You have to work on yourself to be able to receive that type of criticism, or, be able to be like, okay, yeah, this is who I am. This is who I want to be. So definitely, for sure. I do appreciate that. That is very, very informative and impactful advice that you just gave. So, yeah. With that being said, there goes another episode of Campus Deep Dive, and I will see you on another episode soon.